Boom. Yeah.
Oh, we're live, man. We've been live for a while. Yeah, I kind of zoned off. I was sharing this thing out.
We're live, right?
Oh, we're live
okay.
right now.
Maybe we should pay attention and do a show or something today.
It only took us about 10, 11 seconds. So
yeah,
it's all good.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome
back to the show, Start Build Grow Show. What episode is this, man? Like 30 something?
This is episode 37, man.
That's awesome.
Episode 37 of the Start Build Grow Show.
And hopefully we actually still have a few viewers, maybe even more.
I think there's a few people out there that have grown to like us a little bit.
Yeah, we have at least 3 viewers that watch us every week.
Yeah,
right?
There's 3 people that are commenting on a regular basis.
That's all. Hey,
you know what I mean? And for me, that's all I need.
That's all we need.
You know, I went into this not knowing if I would get anybody to listen to this thing.
Right.
And
we were just trying to practice our social skills.
Right. I don't like talking to
people.
So, I'm a little shy. Yeah, I'm shy.
Yeah, nice opening rant. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Start Build Grow Show. As you know, we love interaction. We love comments.
I love it.
And we have a bona fide entrepreneur with us.
Oh, but before we
do the official introduction, Nick's going to go ahead and kind of get us started and give us some announcements and give our sponsors a shout out.
100%. Well, first off, guys, thanks for joining us. This is episode 37 of the Start Build Grow Show. We're doing it once a week, Wednesdays at 6:30 Mountain Time. The end goal. What's our goal with this podcast?
This podcast is all about bringing entrepreneurship and the contracting trades world together.
Right.
That's what we're here about. This is an entrepreneur show for blue collar contractors. That's what we're all about.
Providing the education, the resources, meeting them or networking, I guess, right?
Telling great stories, really.
Great story. We got a great story here.
Yeah, man.
We got a great story, man. I'm stoked about this one. But the only way it's possible is through our sponsors, right?
Yeah.
So I want to say big shout out to Job Nimbus. We started working with them, really connecting with them for the Austin Job Nimbus Solutions Summit. But you've been using Job Nimbus for a while with Elite, correct?
Oh yeah. I mean, Job Nimbus was, a game changer for us, really. I mean, you need, in order to scale any business, you have to have systems and processes in place, and you got to be able to kind of, rinse and repeat, duplicate and replicate. And in order to do that, you got to have a great technology that can keep up with the changes of a really fast-paced growing company.
Yep.
And it has been a game changer for us.
Yep. Exactly, man. And so if you guys are looking to do that stuff for your business, make sure you guys are checking out Job Nimbus. The second one is, a guy that's been listening to the show for a long time now. It's Josh Kottner. And, we connected. I got to talk to actually some of his clients. He's with roofinginsurance.com. And he's going to take great care of you, man.
Definitely, man.
And if every company needs it, right?
Yeah.
And you need an expert to make sure that you're not getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
And he's going to take care of you.
Well, at the show, we pride ourselves on partnering with the best. Like we consider ourselves, we want to represent the best of the best in the roofing industry, right?
Exactly.
The best technology, the best entrepreneurs, the best roofing companies. We want to become the best of everything we do. So we want to partner with the best, So when it comes to recommending somebody, we want to make sure that not only have we worked with them and we've kind of proven that they are what we say they are, but we also want to make sure that they're going to be able to kind of deliver and really execute on what they're saying. So, we've done that, and that's with our 2 sponsors, all 3 of our sponsors, really.
Boss Up as well.
And then our third sponsor, got to give a shout out to Boss Up Solutions. They've been doing a lot of great stuff for us in the background, kind of helping us with our program now, working with a lot of my sales guys. So it's been awesome working with all 3 of those companies, Boss Up Solutions, Job Nimbus, and roofinginsurance.com. All right, let's get started. That was fun.
Man.
Let's get started.
Going, dude. Let's do it.
As you know, this show is all about entrepreneurship. And today we have a bona fide entrepreneur, the founder of Hail Trace.
Oh,
Derik Kline. What's up, buddy?
What up, man?
Welcome.
What up, guys. How are you guys?
We're glad to have you, man.
I've been talking about this one for a while. If you guys don't know this, you guys should probably be following Hail Trace on Facebook as well. I think they got like 19,000 followers or something crazy like that. They got an awesome live setup, right? And they're doing awesome things online. So if you guys are not following Hail Trace yet, make sure you go. I think it's just add Hail Trace on Facebook, right?
It is, yeah.
Check them out. All right. Make sure you're checking it out, man. But yeah, so hey, where are you at, by the way? Where do you live?
So I'm in Edmond, Oklahoma, real close to Oklahoma City.
Okay. Did you grow up there then, or what?
I did, yes. I've lived here my whole life. Too many tornadoes not to leave, so love it.
So obviously, your company's Hail Trace, right? We were talking about that. You know, I'm sure most people know what you do, but we'll make sure we really dive into it. But how did you get into this market? Like, how did this come about?
It's I mean, it's kind of funny because I'm not from roofing at all. In fact, in my presentations I do when I speak, I always show a picture of myself on a ladder on my roof, and I mean, I couldn't even get off of it. So, I mean, I just don't know anything about roofing, but it was, and I didn't even know hail damaged roofs. I mean, if you go back 10, 12 years ago,
yeah,
I think it was 2008. I still remember, in my first house that I've owned, I'm probably 24, 25 years old. And I'm watching tennis ball size hail just pummel my house. And I'm just a big weather nerd, so I'm like super excited.
You're a big weather nerd?
Oh, absolutely. I love weather.
I heard that rumor somewhere as well.
I did. I did. I was waiting for it to come out. But so what did you love about the weather? What was it about the weather that you loved?
Oh, man. I mean, like I could actually go back to the first weather events that like got me hooked. That's how much you guys know Brandon. Brandon obviously works for me, my little brother. And then I have a sister as well. But, growing up, we argued over what's going to be on the TV, right? Like as little brothers and sisters do. They would argue over like what cartoon or what TV show they wanted to watch. For me, it was the Weather Channel. I mean, we're talking like 7 years old. I wanted to watch the Weather Channel all day long.
Wow,
I was forced to do it because that's what my grandparents did. That's what we did. I'd go visit in the summers, and grandmother and papa, man, rest his soul. That's the man that taught me a lot of things. They would literally all day, every day watch the Weather Channel.
Really?
She may be watching this. Hey, grandmother, good to see you. If you are, but the other, I guarantee she's on her phone watching this, and I guarantee the Weather Channel is on in the background.
We watched figure skating when I was at my grandparents', man. So like, I'd rather watch the news. I think, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, so okay, so you're a weather nerd. And you're not in roofing at all, right?
No. Yeah. So
a little more.
Yeah. So I kind of always had this like feeling like I wanted to start a business, and like every company that I ever worked for, like I was always really involved, like thinking like, what could they do to be better? Or, what would I do if I was in their shoes? Probably to a fault to some of them. They're probably like, shut up, like quit telling me what to do. So it was February of 2010. And I get a lot of people have like a lot of businesses that they've started. I've only had like a partial, I guess that you would call it. And so the company that I was working for had hired a web developer. I knew nothing about websites, which is kind of funny because now I'm a software company in the roofing industry. But in 2010, I knew nothing about that. So they hired a web developer, and I asked him, hey, what could I do? I want to put I was doing a 7-day forecast for the city I lived in just because I wanted to. And so that's how nerdy I was. So I wanted to put this forecast on a website, and I was like, maybe I could make some money if I took people out to chase tornadoes. And so that's literally was my idea. Was I'm going to take people out to chase tornadoes, and they're going to pay me money to do that. And so
that's not nerdy anymore. Now you're chasing tornadoes. See,
you just switched to really cool.
Yeah, you just switched to really cool.
I'm in on that.
I'm in. All right, you sold me.
I totally want to build one of those like tank vehicles, and like go chase tornadoes. I would love to do that.
I want to be like, hey, can we go to Derek's? I want to go chase the tornadoes. Like, we got to go to Oklahoma,
right?
And anybody that's seen my wife knows that's probably the only way. So, because she's much better looking than I am. So
I feel you on that one, brother. Go back to 2 episodes. We actually had her on the show a few episodes. This is a few months back now.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah.
So I started this, and I'm like 3 months into it. I've sold one trip for $150 in 3 months, and so obviously it was a really great business plan I had and laid out. And in May, it was May 16th, 2010 was the exact date. Oklahoma City, where I live, got blasted with a hailstorm. It was a $1 billion hailstorm, softball size hail. There's a YouTube video, I think, of a swimming pool that everybody's very familiar with from that storm, of the pool just getting flat. It's got 10 million, 60 million.
YouTube and the links, I think.
I saw that. Oh, yeah.
Put that in the comments.
It was just like a backyard pool where it's just like,
oh, yeah,
hitting it and splashing all over. It was crazy.
Amazing hailstorm. And at the time, I still didn't even care about that. Like I was, I think when it started coming in, I was actually mowing my yard, and my wife was like, "Are you going to go chase it?" And I was like, "Nah, there's not going to be any tornadoes with it, so I'm not really interested in it." And so that storm comes through, and then a couple days later, a friend in our families, I think everybody knows a roofer, right? So a friend in our, especially in Oklahoma, a friend in our family asked me if I could make her a map that showed her where that hailstorm happened at. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess. What would that be for? And she's like, well, show me where all the damage is. And I was like, oh, I guess it does damage roofs, doesn't it? And so I put this map together for her using horrible radar, and I didn't know what I was doing. I used Google Maps to draw it with, and gave it to her. And I think she gave me $100 or something. And she's like, hey, this is actually really good. And I was like, oh, okay. And so over the next 6 to 8 months, I spent that time transitioning my website to be able to sell hail maps. I think I made $1,200 or something that first year. And spent the whole next year, 2011 as well, just trying to, figure it out. I didn't know any roofers, didn't know what I was really getting into. At the time, the big player was Hail Watch. I think most people have heard of Hail Watch or know them. And so, so I'd kind of seen what they had done a little bit, but, wanted to kind of form my own niche and kind of do it my own way. And so just kept playing with it. Came up with a subscription, went to home and garden shows. That was the only place I could ever find roofers. They were never in their office. They were always out, in neighborhoods.
Yep.
So I'd go to home and garden shows with a little flyer. I still have it somewhere around the office, and would try to get people to sign up. And 2011, I was still working full time, selling alarm systems, but I made about 20 grand, and just kind of pocketed that money. That was kind of my nest egg. And in 2012, cut everything loose, quit my job, and went to the International Roofing Expo and kind of launched it for everybody. So.
Let's go.
Man. That is entrepreneurship right there.
Well, I got a couple of comments here real quick that I want to talk about, but then we'll get deeper into the story and figure out how you guys went from that to where you guys are now. But first off, Brian Sparks, he gave you a big shout out here. So it's like, I got to give you some love, man. It says, Derik, just got a hail trace a couple months ago. Y'all are changing my whole game.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Thanks, Brian.
Man. Dang, that's what's up. And we got Jake, man. Jake out there with Job Nimbus. He says, what's good? Hail Trace integrates with Job Nimbus.
That's very true.
How about them apples? Great to see you all. What's up, man? So you guys, there you go. Boom. We were talking about Job Nimbus before they integrate. That is awesome, man. Okay, so this was 2011 that you went all in on the company?
February 2012 is when I quit my job. It was about a week and a half before the International Roofing. It was actually in Orlando.
Yeah.
I still, we got like all of everything that we had for our booth was from my church. I used trussing that they had. We used I didn't even have a big TV at the time. So I used their 55-inch TV that they let me borrow. Carpet tiles, we didn't have that. So they had carpet tile. Literally everything that we put our booth in was from the International Roofing, or was from our church. So we piled it all into a U-Haul trailer and drove all the way from Oklahoma to Orlando, Florida, and walked in. And I'm assuming, have you guys been to the IRE before?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty substantial trade show, and I had no idea. I'd never been to a trade show. This is my first time ever doing a trade show. I walk in, and I think the first thing I see is the GAF booth, and I'm just like, holy cow, what did I just get myself into? Because it was huge, and I was like, wow, this is and I'm thinking oh, I'm gonna make a bunch of money here. Look at all this,
all this money you make there, dude. Go.
Well, speaking of trade shows, I'm gonna plug a. We have an announcement that we were supposed to make earlier, but
we started ranting.
Speaking of trade shows, we went off on a rant instead. So We love you guys,
Mhm.
Jess and Kevin.
Yeah, thank you for listening to us.
Yeah,
Dealing
they're
with
probably
us. We
watching
appreciate
like,
it.
come on, guys.
They're like,
what's
the
up?
guests are always so great, but Randy and Nick are such a pain to deal with. You know what
Totally.
I mean? But
We're
it is
entrepreneurs,
what it-
man. We're just like,
we mean well.
can't
We mean well. We
communicate.
truly mean well.
Yeah.
We're trying over here. Okay.
Anyways, so the IMG Elite Conference,
Yeah.
it was the IMG Expo last year,
Mhm.
and we went there, it was in New Orleans,
Mhm.
and that was an awesome
That
show.
was
Like
really
that
cool.
show,
Yeah,
kind
Gary
of.
V there and stuff is cool.
Yeah, I got to really connect with Gary Vee. Actually,
Yeah.
we got to
You got to
that
ask him
that
questions
show,
about
like
publishing your book and stuff
looking
like that.
back, was the show that kind of launched set everything in motion to
That's how we got
execute
Lightspeed. Yeah.
on the what's now become the Roofing Academy, like
Mhm.
one of the most talked about programs out there. So
Yeah.
it's awesome. So it was a great show then, and now they are doubling down on their efforts to provide even more valuable content.
Yeah.
And somehow they invited me to go be a part of that. So
They invited you?
Yeah, I don't even
Really?
know. Someone may have paid him in the background or something, but
Something's
anyways,
going on.
I did get that invite. So we're stoked to be
Yeah.
a part of it, to be just a part of a much bigger a group of awesome entrepreneurs and experts and
Yep.
speakers. So
Yep.
it's gonna be fun. So we're just kind of announcing that now. It's
Well,
in
hey,
Anaheim, the
people are
22nd
already
and the
telling they're
24th.
going, man. The people are saying they're already going. Look at this.
Boom.
David Kelly, he says,
Love
I'm
it.
going to IMG. Adam Sand, IMG did a great job delivering value for roofers.
Love it.
Look at that. Look at that. That's cool. All right.
Awesome. Well,
I'm going.
it's
I'm going
working.
to
I'm
Anaheim,
going. I'm
man.
stoked.
I know. I want to.
I'm bringing my whole team with me. I'm bringing like
there's
20
Disney
people.
World and stuff. There's two, and then man, the Staples Center. I looked it up. It's 28 miles away, so I might try to sneak in a Lakers game or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I don't know. Derek's conflicted a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you going, Derek?
I am not for sure yet. I went last year, and it was one of the best shows of the year.
It was
So,
good.
it was an awesome show. The content, I think, what they teach there was really, really impressive. So, and I don't know, like I went to the Alien Ant Farm concert they had last year. I don't know if there's anything like that, but there was like I guess nobody went to it, but it was awesome because it was like front row seats. So I was like, that was pretty cool. So, but it was a really good show, for sure. So if anybody's like on the fence, I would say go. So
I feel like you have a little bit of a decent excuse this year, when your brothers decided to get married on the show, like football, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, he may have to kind of have see what he can do to move that around a little bit.
Can you give him a live shout out real quick, Derek? Because he was actually the one that kind of set this up, man. Give him a shout.
So Brandon,
shout out.
Yeah, Brandon Williams, my little brother. He's worked for me now for he's just coming up on his first year. He's actually shattered like every sales record that we've had as a company. So, like absolutely like amazing. It took me like 4 years to get him to come over. I think he thought it was just kind of a fake thing I was doing, maybe, I don't know. But finally got him to make the move. It wasn't just something I was checking out anymore. And so, but yeah, no, he talked to you guys at the Job Nimbus Summit, which was also another really cool place, a really cool deal that we went to this year. And set this whole thing up, which was really cool. But yeah, he's getting married to his fiance Alyssa, and she is awesome too. She's going to be a very great part of our family for sure. So we're really excited about it, obviously, and it's I think it's January 19th is the day. So and then a few things around that, but yeah, it's going to be it's gonna be big. Now he's gonna have like a bunch of people. I want to go to your wedding.
Yeah, right. All right, let's get back with it. Wanted to give them a shout out.
Pay attention. Hold on, Armando J-Cax, who we actually met at Job Nimbus too, says that Derek needs to go. So Derek might have to figure out a way to get there. Hey,
he may have to. I don't know.
They want you, man. They want you.
Anyways, we'll get back to it. So stay tuned because we're going to be releasing a lot more news and information and posts that we got
Hopefully
coming out.
Get some deals going too. That'd be cool.
And it's going to be fun. We're going to be promoting the heck out of the show, and we really want to have a really good turnout of everyone out there watching. We know you guys are the best of the best. Show is all about the best of the best. If you're thinking about going to one show next season, that's the show to be at. Back to the story with Derik Kline. What's up? All right. Where were we?
I want to kind of talk about traction. Yeah. So we talked about the whole situation in 2011 where he kind of jumped ship completely, right? Burned the boats. And now he was at this conference, the IME conference. And what's going on? How did the conference go? And when do you start to really see some traction?
I mean, that the whole first year was hard. I would even say, the whole first 4 or 5 years was pretty tough. I mean, it's not easy. But that first, so like we go to this trade show, and I had $20,000 to my name, and that's got to pay my paycheck. We had a wife, and I had a wife and 2 kids. I have a wife still, but I was married with 2 kids. Owned our house, so I mean, we had bills to pay and stuff like that, and so that $20,000 had to get us until we made some money. And keep in mind, I'm running a hail mapping business, and it doesn't really hail a lot in February, so we're kind of hoping, maybe some people want to sign up with us while we're at the trade show. Well, we go through, we got a lot of great contacts, but we literally made $0 at that trade show. Didn't make one sale.
Entrepreneurship. Listen, you said 4 to 5 years it took to like tough years, and you made 0 at the trade show.
Yeah.
Right. This is entrepreneurship at its finest here.
So what happened next?
Yeah. What happened next?
Yeah. So we, this is where it gets fun, because that was like mid-February. March 2nd of 2012 was one of the worst hail, or best, or however you want to look at it, but one of the biggest hail outbreaks the U.S. has ever had. And keep in mind, so at the time, I'm the only employee. I'm working from this little room in my house. And so I have to map every storm, and I have to do sales. And so it was, there was so much to do. Like there were 410 reports of hail that day, I want to say. That was the day Nashville got hit, Chattanooga got hit, St. Louis got hit, Indianapolis got hit. I'm trying to think who else. There was a ton of hail though that day, and so it starts at like 2 a.m, right? So it's like I got to get up at 2 a.m. I got to map these hailstorms, and so at the same time, my oldest daughter was having what are called like Pall Mall seizures. They were like little seizures, and so we caught them, and so we had to wake her up at like midnight that night. I was like, well, I'll get up because there's going to be severe weather. And so I get up with her, and we're going to go in and take a test that day. They're going to like flash these lights in her eyes and see if she has, see what's wrong. And so like I get up with her, and I've got to keep her up all night long. And at the same time, I'm like trying to map these hailstorms that are going from Springfield at the time there was one storm going from Springfield to St. Louis. That storm ended up going all the way to Ohio, so it went forever, all day long, like a 24-hour hailstorm. But so we go through that. We stay up all night long, and then I have a sales meeting, which is always big. Anytime you can get a meeting with a contractor, that was big. And then we had the visit at the hospital that day for her deal. So I go all night long. I go to the visit with the hospital all the time. It's like hailing like crazy. Like hell's breaking out. All hell's breaking out, right? And I can't do anything because I'm at the hospital, and so we're waiting through all of that, and then and just she's great now. Like she doesn't have any problems now, but at the time, obviously, we were pretty concerned about it. It was my first daughter, and so we go through all that. I go to my sales meeting, and then it's like 5 o'clock. I get home, and there's been 75 storms or something that I've got to go map now, right? So I'm like, man, this is going to be an all-nighter. I get down in front of my computer, and my computer sucks. It was horrible, and I was like, I got to get this stuff done. I was like, this is our big chance. We got all this hail. I think I can make some money. So I run to Walmart and buy to me at the time was like a $500 computer, because I was like, I can work with this. So I go get a computer and a new monitor so I can have 2 monitors, so I can have radar on one, the map on the other. And I start mapping all these storms. I'm literally up for 36 hours straight, not one wink of sleep. And I finally get the last one done. And I will say, one of the most amazing things, like family, I feel like is always something that can push you through. So one of the most amazing things that night, I never will forget this. So I come home from getting the computer, and my daughter, the one that was doing for the seizure stuff, she had made me like this plate. She was already in bed, but there was a plate, and then there was like a note. She's like, I know you're gonna have to be up late, so I made you. And it was like, like grapes and like chips and like just a whole bunch of like snack food and stuff. It was like one of the coolest moments,
That's amazing, because I can speak to that. Like having family support a business is, man, it's paramount. I'm just so blessed to have had that. And I know not everybody has that luxury, right? Sometimes you just got to grind through and rely on close people and friends and make friends that become family, right? But those of us that have family, that it's not a money thing. It's just having that emotional support. It really helps you tune out a lot of the noise when you're laser focused on trying to build a business.
My wife has been phenomenal, like the most amazing person I know.
I can agree. She got the kids up there,
you guys trying to
keep them quiet.
Like comments, make sure they're here.
She's a saint,
you know.
So it's it's been a journey, but that was like the first day that we had hail from that trade show, and that was when so we had done that trade show, and then so some people that we met from that trade show started calling at that point, and so that was when okay, the trade show kind of. I mean, we didn't make our money back yet from it, but we made, I think it was that first day, we made like $5,000, which at the time was a ton of money to me. I had probably $13,000 or $10,000 left, so I'm like dwindling money away, and we made like $5,000 or $6,000 that next day after all that hail happened. And it was like, oh, this is going to work. This is like the most amazing thing. And of course there's a bunch more trials down the road, but, we were like, hey, maybe we're doing something right.
That's the spark of the wildfire, right? You're like, yes, this is exciting. And then all of a sudden trees start, flaming up all over. You're like, oh crap. Now I got to name a whole bunch of fires.
Now I got a bunch of problems.
A whole bunch of problems.
Oh, that's what you asked for, was more problems, guys.
Yeah. Be careful what you ask for when you're ready to, when you build a business that's ready to scale.
Actually, you guys, you talked about the family side of things. You guys talked about a bunch of awesome things. Oh, hey, Cody Hayes, real quick. Take Chrissy, killing the game, right there.
Yeah.
Cody did it for you. Look, your partner in crime, he takes care of that for you. See,
that's my
what
brother,
would you do
man.
without him, man?
Yeah, that's family there too. I mean, he's the real brains behind the operation.
So you guys got me thinking all emotional after you guys did the family thing, the story, all that stuff. I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to put you on the spot. And, it's hard to pick just one. But is there any of like the proudest moments that you had as a business owner that throughout your journey that's just like, this is my proudest moment?
Yeah.
Like
it came kind of when it was probably 5-6 years into it, maybe 5 years into it. When we got over a certain hurdle, we got to a good amount of money to where every like at that time I had a lot of family working there.
Yeah.
And we were able to notate that every single person in our company had made more money that year than they'd ever had previously in their life.
Wow.
That was probably one of my proudest moments as an entrepreneur, especially when you're correlating that with family, because that included a lot of my family. So that was cool. To take more people on the journey with you is pretty epic.
Boom. That's awesome. What about you, Derik?
That's real awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's so many of them, your first sale, for me was really cool. I mean, I still remember, and not like a little map, but like a real subscribing customer, that wrote us, $1,000 check. I mean, they're still a customer today. They always brag about being my first, is what they say. So, I still remember that one. That one was really big. Obviously, that day that we made the first $5,000-$6,000, that was a really cool day. After putting in 36 hours worth of work, and then today I would have been disappointed, but back then it was such a big deal. My first employee, that was really cool. I don't have a meteorology degree, so I'm self-taught. When I hired my first meteorologist, we have 3 now, but that was really cool. But there's been so many different different things that our employees have done. We've had employees buy a house. We've had a bunch of them have bought houses. We've had several that were hired and have gotten married. We have my lead developer is going to have a baby in a month. And he just bought a house a month ago or a couple months ago. So that's going to be really cool. So there, I don't know. We definitely kind of have the family atmosphere at work as well. And so, just seeing the different achievements that the staff up here has had, and then just kind of, and then they kind of celebrate everything as well. So it's been, I don't know, it's just all kind of a blur. It all just kind of goes together.
I think that the first client one is a good one, because it's especially when it's your first business, and you see the signed contract, and then you're just waiting for the payment. And you're like, is someone actually going to give me money for my services?
I've had a few of those moments. You're like, wow.
You're like, man, I was never really the smartest person. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I got something going here. Like, I don't have to have a normal job. Like,
Yeah.
like this is crazy.
The first person to like click send on the payment.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Or back in the day when it was like, you get that check, right?
Yeah.
When I first started, my first check was like $400. I was like, oh my gosh,
You're
I'm an
almost
entrepreneur.
You're like, you feel like you did a trick to somebody or something. You know what I mean?
You like feel bad. Like, did I really earn this? Like,
I just don't want to mess this up. I just do not want to mess this up.
All right, let's get back into this because
I want to talk about the
I'm
tools.
intrigued.
The tools of Hail Trace.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. I'm kind of intrigued.
Am I
We're
jumping the gun?
still, yeah, man. He just had his best day ever.
Yeah, that's true.
And then what? Like, what did you do from there? Because you're at the point of no return where you have to like scale this thing now.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you had to do. How did you do that?
Yeah, so like the first thing that we did, like I had to hire somebody to help me with the map side of things. So that was my first hire. He actually wasn't a meteorologist. His name is Justin Hughes. I don't know if he's watching now. We're still good friends.
Yeah, man. He does marketing stuff, right?
Not that Justin Hughes. There's a different Justin Hughes. this
he watched.
Shout out to Justin Hughes too. I know him as well. But he so he came in and started making maps for me. So I kind of trained him on how to look at a hailstorm and how to analyze it on radar. And man, he worked a ton. I mean, we worked a lot. Just him and I, because we're trying to map every single hailstorm in the U.S. Now I have 3 people, and it's a lot of work. And it was him doing it by himself, and then me, piggybacking on when I could, and then trying to do sales all at the same time. And and it's just a matter of like from that point on, you're basically investing everything that you have. And I think a lot of roofers can probably relate to this, but the way that our business works is it's a little lopsided. So the spring and early summers, kind of heyday, like you make it like every time March, April, and May would roll around, we'd be like, yeah, we're doing it, we're making it. And then by the time November would roll around, you're like, I hope I can
start for either.
So it was really tough, and I'm sure a lot of roofers can kind of relate to that. I think it's a little different time frame. I know kind of the sweeter spot for them is in the summer, but summer and fall, but it's kind of the same deal. And then you got trade show season. You're like, well, we're a new company. We got to get to as many shows as possible, and you're broke, because it's February, so it still hasn't started hailing. So it was always like a roller coaster, and it's kind of fun. I'm sure I'm not the only entrepreneur, but like your emotions are like a roller coaster too. So like you have like you're like super excited, and then like 2 days later you're like
depressed.
Failure. I'm depressed, and it takes everything you got just to get up in the morning. So
it's definitely an emotional roller coaster, as well as in the business cycle, it's feast or famine. In most contractors and most contracting businesses, especially that have anything to do with hail, they're all that way, and that poses a major challenge. Arguably, I think that this industry or building a roofing business that is really centered around hail or events like that is one of the most challenging things to do. And people kind of downplay how easy it is. They just, oh no, I can do that. Well, and they get into it and then they struggle and they're like, oh crap, there's a lot more than I thought. There's a lot more things that you have to understand and know about and process you have to have in place to be able to save and have enough money to facilitate and to carry you through those rough downs that you have to go through. So I think it's one of the most challenging businesses out there.
Yeah, and I feel like with the emotional side of things, I think being a business owner is almost like you're like this in this little boat, and it's like this wavy, wavy waters
in there.
Yeah, and you're just like, all right, just stay, just don't fall, just don't tip. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You just gotta keep it stable. But where we're going with this, and we're in another rant again about me being in a boat or something. Hey.
Yep, nice rant, but let's get back to it.
Yeah, let's get back to it. Where were we in again?
We were talking basically about just the ups and downs of our season, just the seasonal side of this industry period. So
right.
So you hired some people to start doing the mapping, and then from there it was then what? And then let's get into the technology, because man, I did a demo the other day and we're already getting ready to set up our first like kind of orientation or opening thing with them. It's a game changer. It was like a no brainer for us.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
There's your plug.
You know, I mean, yeah, Brandon's obviously doing all that. It's kind of funny because like all the trials and tribulations, all the things that you go through, that's what molds your business. So like, I mean, if you're not failing right now in your business at something, then you're probably not pushing your business far enough. I mean, I think that's the first thing. Like we've failed at a lot of stuff, or we've struggled through a lot of stuff, and everything that we've done has taken us to where we are today. And so like specifically, like, you know, several things that we talked about, but we talked about the trickiness of the business and how winter slows down. Well, we were like, well, what can we do to change that? Because we can't sustain a business if I'm only going to make a couple $1,000s in November and December. I mean, you can, but like, it's hard to plan that way. So is there not that we'll ever get to the point where in the spring and the summer we make most of our money, and in the winter we make less, but how can we make it to where I'm not losing money every winter? You know, where I don't have to have this huge nest egg to hold me over through the winter, and we can actually get through that cycle and help us be better at marketing and help us, you know, do things to make our company better. And so that was one of the big learning curves, is like, what can we do that's different? And I really just kind of tried to look at it from a standpoint of what is a problem that they have that we can solve, but that also makes them need our software year round. And knowing where it hails at wasn't really it. Obviously, like once you know where it hails at, you know where it hails at. So there's not a whole lot to do after that. So we started kind of like brainstorming, like what, you know, and as I learned more, so like I would go to all these events, these trade shows, but I would also learn. Like I wasn't just going to sit there and try to sell my product. Like I would learn from guys in the industry. And so I just kept learning everything that I could learn, and I would find these problems, you know, that the industry was having. And I learned that they had the same issue that I was, and I was like, well, can they not make money in the winter? And obviously, in some markets, yes, if there's snow on a roof, you can't really sell a roof. But there's not. I know weather very well, and even if you're in Minneapolis, there's not snow on roofs year round. You know, you might have a week where there's a lot of snow on the roofs, and then it melts off just like everywhere else when the sun comes out, and boom, you can. And so I was like, these guys can sell roofs year round. They may not be able to put them on year round, but they could sell roofs year round. So what if we made a software that enabled them to track what they were finding, where there was hail, you know, how often is it hailed at this address, and if it is there damage, or is there partial damage, is there a lot of damage, what kind of roof does it have? Like, just start compiling all that data, so that way every time it hails, you're smarter, you're better, and you can go out and excel in that, you know, with all that data that you have. You can work a storm better than you could before, but more importantly, you could work it smarter, if that makes sense. So that was kind of the lights on moment. Like, hey, if we could build something that they could use all this hail data that way, we could sell it in November.
Well, you guys kind of inadvertently kind of paved the way for this new kind of, you know, thing that's been coming out in our industry. It's kind of becoming a thing in this whole digital door knocking. You know, you guys are kind of the catalyst that kind of allowed for that to even really start to become a thing. You know, we're playing around with it, and with, you know, with the marketing stuff and social media and Facebook, you know, location like marketing and AdWords and all that stuff. It's like you can really do a lot of efficient working and efficient things with having the right technology. Exactly, something like this. You know,
I'm glad that you actually said that, because I was thinking the same thing. And it kind of brings me to my next question. Actually, before I asked that, I had one from Adam Sand. He says, does Hailtrace work in Canada?
We do make maps in Canada. It's a little bit more difficult. Canada doesn't have a good radar system like the U.S. does. But they do have a radar system, and we do the best with what they have. So, cool.
So you guys, okay. So those out there in Canada, I know there's some.
There's some.
There are some, yes.
You can use Hailtrace. You know, so we were talking about a little bit about efficiencies and stuff like that, you know, what you can do in the marketing side of things. What suggestions or tips do you have to those who are using Hailtrace to be as efficient as possible in their planning for the storms?
Yeah. So, the first thing, and this one kind of hit me this year, and I started kind of really preaching on this, was stop waiting on a hailstorm. That's like the first thing. So like, the industry has always been, a lot of people jumped into the industry because of a hailstorm. And so one of the big trends, or one of the big things that we saw was guys would jump in and maybe they would sell for a guy and then they would go start their own company, or however it would happen. But so many people are just sitting and waiting for a hailstorm. And if you would change your focus and you would say, instead of waiting on a hailstorm, I'm looking for hail damage, all of a sudden, like, the lights come on and there's a lot of work. So what we found is, like, Oklahoma City has been a pretty unlucky market for getting a hailstorm. We've had a couple of quarter-size hail events, which is great in my book because it's new data loss. And so that's the key. We just need to be able to file a claim on that roof. And so the guys in Oklahoma City that have said, I'm not going to wait on a hailstorm, I'm just going to go look for hail damage. They're finding hail damage, and then if they can attribute a date of loss to that hail damage, they file a claim. And I mean, I've got clients that have, tripled their business doing that with no hail. Like, we haven't had a big hailstorm in 5 years. And over the last 3 years, they've tripled or quadrupled, or I think one of them went from 1 to 8 million, just in Oklahoma. Like, they didn't go to Dallas, they didn't go to Colorado, they're stuck right here in Oklahoma, and they're just making a killing. But they're just looking for hail damage. That's it. That's their goal. I need to find hail damage, and it's everywhere. I mean, maybe not in Vermont, but it's if you're in the plains, there's hail damage. So
stop waiting for a hailstorm and start looking for hail damage.
Absolutely. And that quote right there can attribute a huge part of our growth with our company is, when my partner and I, we already met him earlier, is every year we kind of approach it as if, hey, we are not getting a hailstorm. What are we going to do to build our company and grow our company? Like, what are we going to do right now to generate business or to position ourselves to grow our business in the event that we happen to get hail again next year? And it's a mindset that we're always striving to get better and better and better, improve our systems, explore options as far as, what other types of roofing systems can we start to sell. We become not just order takers, we become actually a sales company, that can just plug and play different products because we have a great sales process, right? So we focus on all these sort of things, and then hail happens. So many people may think, oh, you guys grew just because you had hail. No, we grew because we had really badass processes that allowed us to capture all the hail, right? That's why. So you got to always go into every year, and that's, again, plug in the Roofing Academy. That's what we do, is we plan now. Like, right now, I am in heavy planning mode for what we're going to do, what changes we're going to make to our company next year. Whereas a lot of other roofers out there are like, oh my God, I just got to get through the year. It's been such a stressful year. I don't know what I'm going to do next year. Hopefully we have enough money to get through, and we'll just hang out and wait for hail. Right. And then they look like, man, how come I didn't grow? We got more hail. How come I didn't grow how I thought I was going to grow? Or I grew so fast that now I have no clue what to do. I can't collect my money. I don't know what to, you get into this really tough spot. But it all comes down to that approach of entrepreneurship. Like, be an entrepreneur, run your business like an entrepreneur, not like a capitalist that just happens to, try to make money off of weather events. Right. So that's the mindset shift we're trying to make.
I like that a lot. That's good. So what about the vision wise? I mean, obviously, you guys have had a ton of success, a ton of growth. I mean, your presence and branding has been fantastic. I mean, obviously the services you guys have as well, but you guys did a great job establishing yourself in, the market and the industry of roofing. What do you want to do next? I mean, there's always that next goal and stuff. What's the vision for the next step?
I mean, we've got some additional software stuff that we're working on, some stuff that we want to, keep basically making it to where it's enhancements on what you guys can do. The way that we look at it, like, we have a very small percentage of the market right now, our customers of hail trace. Like, we still have a ton of growth that we can do. And so we've taken the like, we have a canvassing app. So, I mean, technically, if I really wanted to, I could go sell my canvassing app to any industry, like anybody that door knocks, alarm companies, whatever. But we haven't built it that way. We've literally built it for the restoration industry. That's been our goal. And so we want to really work in that niche. Like we want to stick with restoration. And so, but in order to do that, obviously you do want to grow. You want to financially grow. You want to grow your product. You want to make it better. There's a lot of things that you want to do with that. So we wanted to make sure that there was room for growth. And I mean, the way that we look at it, we have, a very small percentage of the industry. There's a percentage that's, really active in Facebook and all that type of stuff. And that's where we've done really well in. So, we're literally going to take, some of what we preach to everybody else, which is go get it, like go after it. So we're going to do the same thing as a company. That's kind of our goal this year, is like, we're going to go after it. And so, I set goals for myself to speak at a certain number of events, to host a certain number of events, to network with people like you guys, or I don't know. There's just lots of different people out there, obviously, that we network with, and then to actually go out and cold call on roofing contractors. Right? There's 8,000 roofers in the state of Texas, and I don't.
Yeah, I think it's up to 10 now.
Is it up to 10? Yeah,
are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew Colorado was number, but I didn't know Texas.
Yeah.
And I probably don't have 300. So
yeah,
so
there's opportunity. There's definite opportunity.
There's a limitless opportunity. So I think sometimes as entrepreneurs we have a tendency, and I'm definitely can say that I've caught myself trying to do this, but we like a diamond kind of pops up and we go, oh, let me go,
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so for us to stay like laser focused on like what is our goal, and our goal is to help the restoration industry. So like we want to build technology that helps the restoration industry, specifically weather-based technology. And so that's our goal. So if we keep our eye on that and we keep pushing towards that, then we're doing what we want to be doing as a company. And so that's kind of our goals. And so we've, there's some different things that we have. Obviously, I don't want to lay them all out there, but we're working on several things right now that are kind of in the works, and I think contractors are going to love it a lot. Hopefully, we'll see. Sometimes stuff doesn't work, and you learn from that. And a lot of times we've learned, well, they kind of liked this part, but they didn't like this part, so let's put this part over here, and then let's move this over here, and let's build this section. And so we have operated on what I would call, like, I read a book called can't remember the name of it now. I'll look it up, and it's in my office at home.
Yeah, just throw in if you get it, throw the link in the notes.
Throw it in the links later.
Yeah,
I will. But it's basically about being a lean entrepreneur.
Yep. The lean startup.
That's it. That's the book.
Yeah,
the lean startup.
The lean startup. I read that one recently, and it was awesome. I mean, yeah, it's kind of geared towards tech, but there's so many things you can learn, and we started doing some things in our organization that we got from that book, So, so what do you got for us? You got to share a little secret or something like that for us of something that you're working on, or is this stuff that's top secret? We got to wait for it to come out.
I'll give you a little bit of a secret.
Ooh, we'll get a little nugget. You hear this only on the Start to Go show, right?
I promise I won't tell anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see a bunch of comments. So
there's only I think 10 or so watching right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We've lowered the number, so we're okay.
Yeah, right now this is time to shine. Let it out.
It bounces around a bunch, but so it's so like one of the things that so we're very focused on the sales side of things. I have no desire to. We've had a lot of people that are like, you should make yours into a CRM, and if Jake Dempsey is watching, he'll say, no, you shouldn't. But I literally have no desire to make a CRM. I do not want to make a CRM. There's too much to it. Everybody does it different. But we're very laser focused on the sales side of things. And so I'll give you one little section that we really want to enhance our software in. And that's with social media. So obviously you have our maps and you have different things, but you're generating leads, and the way that Facebook has gotten to where it's really good with, with being able to generate leads. Facebook's one of our best marketing tools. I think contractors don't utilize it enough. But but with Facebook, like being able to integrate that within your health trace, so you can see like where stuff is actually like where your leads are coming from into relation to where the hailstorm was, and then being able to take that data and turn it into more data, right? So like this roof was not totaled, but this roof was, and kind of being able to map out everything as it comes in through social media. So like that's one of the pieces that we're working on. So
you better get with me on that first. Okay.
Oh man. Well, hey, let's start to kind of wind it down a little bit here, guys. I kind of like to put you guys on the spot again here. I like to talk about key takeaways, right? So, we have this show. The whole point of the show is to educate people in the industry about the resources, the knowledge, everything that they need to make sure that they're successful, and also give them a platform to ask questions, get out, get the host that they want. And, people wanted to hear from you, right? But, you're a business owner just like the rest of us. Doesn't matter if you're not technically a roofer. I think business is business. What kind of key takeaway do you have for business owners out there? Something that's like, hey, through my experiences, this is some wisdom that I can kind of take and that I follow on a regular basis to make sure that I'm going the right direction and getting, achieving the goals I want to achieve.
So, I mean, I would say right out, like there's different things that based off of different sizes of your company, and I've tried to watch, like my company's growing right now. We're growing very fast, but so like just at the beginning, like don't be afraid to like learn from people. I constantly see people that think they're too good for advice that they get, and you'd be shocked at you just don't understand the perspective that the advice is coming from. And so a lot of times the advice that you get can be really, really good. And you may not realize it for 6 months or a year or even 10 years down the road. Because I still, like I talked about earlier, how, when I was working for someone, I was always like, oh, well, they should do this or they should do this. I don't know how many times right now in my business where I'm at, I'm like, I remember it now. I know why they don't do that. So like just be open to that. And then the next thing I would say is don't be afraid of failure. There's nothing wrong with failure. That's the only way we get better.
Yep, that's it. That's actually one of my 10 rules, man. I got 10 rules of entrepreneurship, and one of them is embrace failure. It's going to happen. So learn from your
absolutely
fails, learn from your mistakes, because they're there for a reason. With me though, we talked a little bit about this, but never rest on your laurels. Like, always be striving to get better. Too many of us are kind of focused on competing with one another and what everybody else is doing and blah, blah, blah. Forget all that. Focus on yourself. Focus on your own company and getting better. Like, improve constantly. Wake up every day with a mindset of, how do I get better? What can I learn today? How can I grow today? And how can we grow as individuals and as a company and grow our processes and make something better every day? That's the focus. Just get better every day.
Get better every day. Don't be afraid of failure and be willing to take advice, guys. Right there. Boom. That's 3 great takeaways to make sure that you guys are following those guidelines and your every day. Because like we said, it's a roller coaster. There's the goods, there's the bads, how it goes. So, but guys, thank you so much. This was episode 37 with Derik Kline with Hail Trace, man. You've been awesome. Thanks for sharing, the nitty gritty and the details about your story. Thank you so much for jumping on, man. Really appreciate
Derik,
it.
As what has become kind of a tradition, I need you to shoot me a DM or an email or text, whatever, with your address. I can send you a book. So
awesome.
Gets a free copy of the book. And where can you find this? You can actually find this
on Amazon.
I think he's going to throw a link up too. So if you have not gotten this book or read this book yet, I know I'm a little bit biased, but we've had nothing but amazing feedback. And it's literally changing the way people run their businesses and changing their lives ultimately. So it's working. This book was written to help contractors, to provide an outlet, to teach them what they don't know. We're contractors. We don't know everything. So through 15 years of experience, lots of ups, lots of downs, and tons of ultimate success at the end, I was able to kind of put it all in here. So start it, build it, grow it, the Contractor's Guide to Success. You can find it on Amazon.
And guys, remember Spotify and iTunes. That's where we're focusing the podcast right now. So if you guys want to check it out, we usually upload it towards the end of the week. All the episodes are there. It's be the kind of the best way to find them. If you guys have any other platforms that you guys like, let us know. We'll look into them. But thank you guys so much again. Derik, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's good seeing you.